Something's different.
I am changing.
I don't know if I like who I'm becoming.
Boyd, there are a lot of people wanting to know what happened down there.
Where's Dad? Why isn't he back yet?
Tabitha, we need to talk.
It means everything they showed us. It's real. I think they're doing it to make us afraid.
Well, then it worked. There is something ancient here. And it's feeding off our suffering, and it doesn't stop.
We're losing. We're running out of time, and we still don't know the goddamn rules. There is no way to fight back against those things. Everything we've done, every sacrifice we've made, none of us are going anywhere.
You think you're some kind of hero? You're a monster.
Lord, please protect us in this dark place where evil roams so freely. This we ask in your name. Amen.
One way or another, the truth always comes out.
I would make sure it doesn't.
So far, I know I can see Boyd on Abby's grave. I know that I can see Boyd is waking up from some kind of a bad dream. There is Boyd in Colony House. There is a funeral of two people. There are some visions. There is the "Where is Jim?" since everybody's looking for Jim. There is Man in Yellow and his suit. There's arrival of new people. The ambulance chase. Kenny and Sophia. Julie. Storywalking. Fatima loses her shit. Scarecrows and the village. Victor and Henry. Henry and Tabitha and the bottle tree, fake Jim, trapped Elgin. Those are the scenes that I'm going to dissect frame by frame in this trailer. I want to understand every little detail, and I also want to try to put them at least somehow chronologically, because some scenes are definitely after the others and we can already right now say what comes after another. So if you are a fan of From, this is going to be a very long but very interesting video, so be prepared for a lot of information. Let's dive in. If you're a big fan of From, please know that I'm planning to do reviews and analysis of every episode and everything in between, so feel free to subscribe and hit that bell button. And also I have a very cool From merch, you're more than welcome to check it out. And I actually want to start with Fatima here, because just like it happened with season 3 and season 2, as soon as season 2 ended, it started on the same point of time for season 3. You know, Tabitha waking up in the hospital in the end of season 2, and then Tabitha waking up in the hospital in the beginning of season 3. And looks like season 4 is gonna continue this tradition, because season 3 was ending with Fatima remembering, understanding who are the Frombies, who are the monsters, and that they sacrificed some children to become immortal or something like this. So we can see here definitely this is her reacting to, you know, giving birth to Smiley. This is the same place, the same clothes. She's still sweating from giving birth, even though it was not exactly giving birth, but still probably way more terrifying than that. It's there. So we're gonna start with her, and I want to continue with all the scenes that we have for Fatima, because I just want to finish with it, because there's not that many details here. I think we can see that Fatima is cleaning something. It's very pixelated. They always release the trailers not in 4K for some reason, so we will not gonna be able probably to pick up more details when we dive in. And I have no idea what she's doing here. Probably, as we can see later, she's taking a shower. In the teaser we saw that she is just walking through the colony house, and here she's just smashing some car. So I tried to analyze, maybe this is some of the cars that we have seen, this is not this one, this is not also the Christopher's car, obviously it's not the same, and there's not this car also, the insides are different, so she's probably just kicking the shit of a random car, and it's because she has to deal with a lot of stuff. So she was diagnosed as somebody who cannot give birth. Then she arrived to From, which is scary enough. She met their love of her life and she got pregnant, even though she thought it's impossible. She was so happy, everybody, including Donna, told her this is amazing, this is like a miracle, whatever. And then she was told it's not really a baby, you don't have a baby, there is no one in your belly. You either lost the baby or it was false pregnancy. Add to that she started to drink some blood and eat some weird shit, and then eventually she gave birth to Smiley. If you don't need a psychological help after this one, I don't know who you are, you're probably Chuck Norris or something like this. So my bet that most of the season 4 we're gonna see Fatima being, distant from everybody else, even including Alice, and trying to, work through this shit. She also killed Tilly, So it's gonna be a lot of Fatima with herself, and the main reason for that is because Fatima knows stuff right now, and in the long and very famous tradition of From, somebody who knows something will never tell that to us unless it's somewhere closer already to the end of the season. So Fatima probably knows a lot about the monsters, but she's gonna be like, oh, I don't want to talk about it, I don't want to talk about it. She's gonna take a page from Victor's playbook and she's gonna be like, I don't want to talk about it, I just want to go smash some cars. So we finished with Fatima and let's move to the next scene. This is Tabitha, and this is actually a scene from a teaser, but I want to start with this one because you can clearly see that she still has some kind of like leftover scars on her eyebrow, on her cheek, just like it was in the end of season 3. Now, as I said to you already, this trailer is not in the best quality possible. I tried to upscale it to 4K, it doesn't really do a good job, those AI systems, whatever. I tried to find, maybe somebody published it, so this is the best quality I was able to muster here, and unfortunately on other scenes, other moments, I'm not able to say whether she still have those scars or time passed and they healed already. But this moment looks like, she's wearing the same coat, it's still kinda cold-ish. So this is probably somewhere in the beginning in our timeline. Maybe, once again, since it's the teaser and the next scene is Julie like saying to her mom, like, what's going on? I don't think it's the reaction to the scene in the pool. I don't think this is something actually that's happening there. This is probably Tabitha having some kind of a vision. After what happened in the end of season 3 with Ankui unlocking some memories, they now remember, as you remember. So yeah, she and Jade will have a lot of different visions, and it looks like here in the forest, like look at her eyes, she's looking down, she's not there, she's not present, she's thinking or seeing something else. Also here, there's a lot of scenes of Tabitha just walking around. I think this is similar to what she has seen in the end of season 1, when she saw the lighthouse in episode 9, and she saw Jim hanging from the ceiling. So this is probably one of those visions. She just sees herself just walking around, or while she's walking around she's seeing some things. Once again, not that many details. She's obviously next to the graveyard, so it's next to the church, not a very important detail. Moving on. So also, this is a moment from the teaser. She goes out of the house by herself, notice, and in the trailer we have a moment when she is chasing Ethan already. So my first impression when I've seen the trailer, oh, it's the same moment, they're just showing it to us, but you can see clearly that here Eden is nowhere around, and she's basically chasing him very closely. So this is probably the moment before the night, okay, before the first night after Jim's death, and this is the moment, the right moment already. This is after, this is the next day, where there's this scene in the pool with the bag, the bloody bag, you know exactly what I'm talking about, we're gonna get to it. So this is also a moment when I think we can confidently put somewhere in the beginning of our chronological events, because Jade here is still wearing a coat, a blue coat, so it's still kind of cold. He still has a scarf. So yeah, something that he was wearing in the end of season 3. So yeah, probably this is the same day. As I told you, season 4 will pick up at the same moment where season 3 ended. Like, there's not gonna be, oh, it's been an hour since then, or 2 hours. It's gonna continue from the same moment, you know, Jim's death and everything else. So yeah, probably this is still the same day. Now moving on, he's talking here to Tabitha and Julie, and as you can see, Ethan still wearing his red coat, something he's not gonna wear in any other scene, because after Jim's death something happened with the weather here, and you know, the man in yellow becoming man in yellow and then transferring to something else, so the weather is changing. We will be able to see that the next scenes, when we progress in the season, we will see that our characters wear less and less clothes. It becomes warmer and warmer and warmer, so it's you know, so yeah, you know, summertime, let's go for a vacation. Anyway, also this moment we can confidently put it on the timeline that this is the first night after Jim's death. Otherwise, I cannot explain that Julie will be, you know, like waiting 4 or 5 days without seeing her father, and now she's like suddenly during this night she's like, where's Dad? He hasn't been home for a week. He went to get some milk or something, you know. So yeah, obviously I'm kidding. Of course, this is the first night after Jim's death. We can see that Tabitha here wearing the same clothes, Julie wearing the same clothes, and obviously she's worried where is her father. So on the timeline we put it somewhere after the scenes that we have seen right now. And this moment is probably the next day. Okay, Boyd is wearing already his jacket. When he went to the caves, he was without his black jacket. Here we can see there is a sun blinks here on Colony House, so it's a morning, as we know from Victor's drawing or Miranda's drawing. The sun always rises in front of the Colony House and sets down behind it. We can see it here even closer, that it's definitely a morning time, and Boyd is hearing something here, so he goes to check what's going on the pool. I did a full teaser analysis, so you're more than welcome to check it out unless you didn't. So here also from the teaser, everybody looks at the pool, like what is going on? Something in the pool. We can see in this moment that Boyd is running from the Colony House. This is definitely the road to the Colony House, and he's checking out what's going on. There is some kind of a bloody bag here. It's been held by a rope on the motel sign, so everybody will see. This is probably what made people scream, and this is already where this scene is coming from. Ethan is hearing some noise and he's running towards something, and Tabitha and Julie are behind him to stop him. But who stops him? Boyd stops him, because this is something scary. And in my yesterday's stream, I was talking to a lot of you guys actually, and Taron Matera, the guy behind the Biotook theory and the tarot card theory, he actually sent me a screenshot of this screenshot, and you can see if you zoom in here, it's something that looks like a bag and there is something furry inside of it. Now this can be some kind of an animal from the barn, but unlikely, because in the next scenes we will see that most of them are alive. And also, you know, this town's seen a lot of things, a lot of horrible things. To horrify them with the dead goat, it's not gonna be something very efficient. They will be like, okay, dead goat, pretty scary, but let's move on. We have some weed to smoke in the Colony House. Unfortunately, I lost my dog almost 2 years ago, and it's been a while already, but it's still something that I remember very clearly. And if you look at the back, it doesn't look like a human body. Okay, there is a lot of the center of gravity here on the center, and there is something still poking on the sides, and it kind of looks like an animal body, because, you know, like 4 legs, and the heaviest part is on the belly. This is what's pushing it to the ground. So it is kind of likely that the man in yellow right now active, and he's doing something to, you know, to finish this story, because right now what comes next is his favorite part. One of the things is probably to kill the dog, and dogs, as we know, they work with the boy in white. So whatever I ever said about the boy in white, he cannot be a bad guy. Nobody who works with dogs can be a bad guy. Dogs are amazing. Dogs are the best thing that is on this earth. So if he is with dogs, boy in white is on my team. But still, there's a question. If this is actually a dog, how there is a body? Because as we remember, this is the same dog that was with the boy in white 40 years ago. So it's obviously not a real dog. Okay, so if you kill a ghost, do you still have a body after that? But if it's not a ghost, how would a dog survive for so many years? This is definitely the same dog that was protecting here Victor and Ethan in episode 4 of season 1, and definitely the same dog that was with Boy in White when he was protecting Victor when he was a child during the massacre. And it also doesn't answer the question, what is Sarah and everybody else are looking at, because they're looking down the pool. Okay, and as we have seen on the screenshot, the rope is being tied to one of the railings of the pool and there is a bag. So what's in the pool? Now, once again, if you remember episode 4, there was one dog and there was the other. So if both dogs are dead here, one in the bag and one in the bottom of the pool, once again, it's not the most horrifying thing that our heroes have seen in Fromville, but it's definitely not a very pleasant one. Of course, a lot of people in live stream were yesterday like, if they're gonna show me a dead dog, I'm changing the channel. I don't want to watch it. I'm the same here. Anyway, moving on, and this explains also why they will discover Jim actually not in the pool, as I thought in the beginning when I was analyzing the teaser, but probably in the barn. You can see that Tabitha is opening the door, she's on her knees, you can see that Jade doesn't wear his scarf anymore, he doesn't wear his blue coat, outside is already warmer, so it's the next day or the day after the next day, whatever it is, but this is not the same day when Jim died. They find him in the barn. I cannot explain any other way why would she react like that. She's not reacting like that to some words like knowledge comes with the cost. Obviously not. She's seen a dead body, Jade is seeing a horrific disfigured body of Jim, and the same way Julie here, this is the same tree. You can see yellow tree here on the right side, and this is this yellow tree here on the right side. So she's also seeing her father and understanding that he's dead, and this is her reaction. They will discover Jim's body in the barn. And then we have this scene, probably also a day after, or even once again, we're moving somewhere on the timeline here, and Julie and Ethan opening the barn door, and they look like they find something disturbing, like Ethan obviously not liking what he's seeing, but it's definitely not the body of their father. It's not like, oh, this is my dead father, I'm pretty sad. Obviously not. This is probably when they discover those swords. So I think this is a psychological warfare on behalf of the man in yellow. First you discover the body, then on the next day you discover those swords. Knowledge comes at the cost. As you can see, the gods are pretty okay, they're doing fine. So it is most likely that it was actually a dog in the pool.
This didn't have to happen, you know. Back up. The knowledge comes with a cost.
And then they go to talk to Tabitha and Jade here in this scene he's saying like everything that we have seen is real. They probably show it to us to scare us, and Tabitha is saying yeah, I agree, it's working for them. So everything they show us, I think it's a good way for me to actually move to our visions. The first one, this is the moment and the place where, you know, the kimono lady was taking the smiley child to the caves. So it kind of feels the movement of the camera here like this is some kind of a memory, flashback or something, or vision. Once again, it doesn't feel like this is real life events. Just the way the camera moves, this is something that's usually being done in cinematography, that's it. Now this moment, obviously Marielle here on chains in the hospital slash high school, you know, middle school, whatever it is, and she's basically experiencing what she experienced in the end of season 2. She's on chains. We have seen this vision also repeating itself in season 4 in the trailer. So this is not happening for real, obviously, just like it happened to her with Smiley in season 2 when she saw him and she woke up. So they are still being terrorized. Those three people, Julie, Randall, Marielle, they are still being terrorized. But what's interesting for me here is that we can definitely see somebody's shoulder here. Somebody who is looking at her and not doing anything to help her. So yeah, it's a vision, but still help a girl out here. You can see clearly that she's suffering. So whoever this is, it's probably not somebody good. Another very important vision is the man without an eye with a skull full of blood. We have seen him in season 3. This is Jade's vision, so he will probably see that again. Once again, this is a new one, the camera movement is pretty new, so it's not a repetition of something that we have seen before. And as I told you, you remember this guy, obviously, we know him from previous season, this is him drinking, and it's clear as day to me that those two visions are somehow connected. Tabitha's vision of the girl standing, hiding, playing hide and seek next to those rocks covered in red paint, and of course the man without an eye that Jade is seeing, because he has seen him right next to those rocks. So they are supposed to be somehow interconnected. This is probably the beginning of our story, of our lore. This is the main events. This is what started it all. Something in this village, something with those people. This girl and the guy without an eye. They are definitely somehow connected. Now, since we already started to talk about a guy without an eye, let's remember something which is very important to keep in mind before season 4. There is a very long running, repeating theme of pretty much the same injuries for different people in Fromville. We have this guy without an eye. We have Victor's drawing here of a monster with a bleeding eye. We have Clara here almost losing the same eye. We have Elgin, who was a little bit more lucky and he lost the other eye, the left one here, but he's not alone because we have this drawing of a person killed and also bleeding from the left eye. So this is repeating itself, but in the trailer we also have a new thingy called Scarecrow, and it also doesn't have an eye, as you can see. It cannot be a coincidence. Obviously, all those moments are somehow connected. Now, since we already started talking about the village, let's rewind a little bit so we can see that our characters, they go to the village. This is probably somewhere in the middle of the season, because we're gonna see later, like, they are wearing pretty much summer clothes already, and they were able to find 3 scarecrows. Now, scarecrows, what did they do? They're scarecrows and ravens, and as you know, they're pretty much very important here in this TV show. Anyway, we'll get to crows a little bit later. So as you remember, there is a big body of water next to the village. You know, compared to Brundles, this is a freaking sea or an ocean. So this is probably where they were able to find those 3 scarecrows, and during the night they gave this guy a line to probably kill him, you know, the one that's sitting next to Alice. And as I told you, this is already farther down the line of the season, because look, this is the middle of the night. They're all wearing t-shirts, like Alice is basically wearing just small t-shirt and that's it. So it's pretty warm. Now, who is that here with the blonde hair? I didn't know until I remembered in teaser that we have seen that Donna is arriving to the village also, so it's probably her. Now, those scarecrows, they come to life, they attack the house, and since this one was able to break a freaking wall, you know, which is not made of stone but still very difficult to do, and we can see that everybody is running scared, and you know, Tabitha is trying to protect Ethan here. I love those moments when they show us parents as parents. And here, this moment, this is probably the guy who was given a line just to be killed. Probably this is what's gonna happen to him. I cannot believe they just gonna kill somebody, you know, Ethan or Tabitha or Alice. I don't believe this is gonna happen. Losing Alice will completely break Boyd. There's not gonna be a character like anymore. That's it. There is no point in Boyd without Alice. No, he is there to protect his son. Now we have also this moment, another scarecrow, and it's already outside. And yeah, one can imagine that after, you know, the hut being broken, our characters will need to survive the night somehow. You know, you cannot stop the monsters with just showing them the talisman. Randall already tried and it didn't work in season 3. So they will probably have to face some different challenges on the outside, and we can see those kind of things here kind of once again remind me of a swamp. But then again, and it's once again based only on a vibe and on hundreds of thousands of watched material during my lifetime, it kind of feels nightmarish-y, vision-y. The way it's been shot from, you know, from the bottom, the lighting here, the way this scarecrow moves to attack just like this, it all gives a vibe of a nightmare. Now, I'm not 100% confident, as I told you. If I am, and I have something to base my confidence on, I will tell you, but so far it doesn't look like more than a vibe. But yeah, I think it's a vision. I think it's a nightmare. Anyway, since we already started to talk about people without an eye, I forgot to mention this one. And it also doesn't have an eye, you know, the scarecrow-ishy voodoo doll kind of thingy that was standing next to the village. But another interesting thing about this one is it also has a very interesting scar on the forehead, here, on the right side. So when we move forward, we remember that Ankui children, a lot of them, and especially this little girl, had the same scar. Also, by the way, a little bit of a side note, on the poster we have 6 Ankui children when there are 7, and the only one who is missing is actually the girl. So, I know if Taran Mataro and everybody who thinks like him and me watches this moment right now, we're like, yes, it's because the girl, she's like a man in yellow and she's gonna turn to him, and because, you know, the whole Ankui is remember is bullshit, and it sounds really annoying to me. All of our theories were better, but still, you know, let us whine a little bit. Anyway, still, like, now on the serious note, What do you think? Why? What, they didn't have enough space for this girl, which was kind of the most important one, had the most screen time in season 3, and they put everybody else but not her? Why? Like, what, you just had to make it symmetrical, 3 on the one side and 3 on the other side? I don't think anybody would be ruined if they would put 4 on one side and 3 on the other side. So yeah, it bothers me. Those little things bother me. Anyway, moving forward, we have also Kelly from the Kelly-Brian couple. She also had the same injury, not the same scar, but you know, the monsters were pretty precise to hit the same spot. And of course, our favorite character, who is not with us anymore, Jim. Also, very similar scar, the same one. It kind of made me think that in the cave in the trailer, when we have this one, whoever this is, with the blurry eyes, just like the characters that were, you know, Jade was seen in the cellar, and of course with the scar on the forehead. It kind of doesn't look exactly like Jim, even though sometimes, you know, props can do not the best work, but the way they did, for example, Dale in the, you know, in the pool was pretty amazing. So yeah, I don't know, like it looks pretty good to me. In the beginning, I actually thought it's dismembered head of Jim, and then, you know, remember, what comes next is my favorite thing. He's looking down, he's probably gonna cut Jim's head, and then he's gonna like put it in the back, and then everybody's gonna be sad. But as we already discussed, that's not it. But anyway, going back to the church and to this scene, whose body is that? Is that the new guy, the priest, or is actually Jim? Now, my money is obviously on Jim, because you can see the blue sweater here, you can see the ring here, the wedding ring. The boots are pretty similar, even though if we compare it to season 3, in season 3 his boots looked way brighter, but then again it could be just an issue of color grading. The biggest argument for Jim here is because look at Boyd and look at Alice. I don't see them being that worked up about just some new guy that arrived and died. That's it. They're like, okay, new guy, moving on. But this is Jim, this is somebody who's already a big part of the family, and yeah, this is probably the reaction to the death of Jim. And since they were taking him to the church, and it looks like they took a car, so they probably were driving, taking it through the whole of the town, and the church and the barn are on the opposite sides of the town, so it kind of makes sense to me. Anyway, moving forward, we start to talk about the priest. So let's talk about the new people. We have the priest arriving, seeing a tree, not much here, we don't see the crows, but they will probably arrive. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna see this scene without the crows or ravens, it's gonna be very interesting. So here we can see this guy, we're probably not gonna see him a lot, because he was not even in the announcement. We have Sophia as the new girl in town, and nothing about her father, so her father is probably gonna be dead, and in the future scenes we're gonna see funeral with 2 graves. So Jim, and who else? This guy, obviously. So we can see Sophia here, her body language is very closed. I don't know if her father is abusive or something like this, or she's just being, you know, very religious, dogmatic, those kind of things, whatever it is. But it doesn't feel like she's the most assertive type of character. So yeah, this scene, we have, you can see the cross of Saint Benedict's here. This is the Catholic cross, and we know that they're Catholic, and it's smashing right into the postal office. And in this scene, we can see it making a hole there. And Boyd here trying to save somebody. Now, I try to understand who that is, but once again, the quality is so bad. The clothes, it looks like a guy, but I don't know, it can still be a woman. No idea. If somebody in the comments can let me know who do they think they are, who is Boyd trying to save here, I will be more than happy. Anyway, moving to this moment, this is pretty weird. Why is it weird? This is obviously after the car crash. She is, what looks like she is in the car, and there's a Holy Bible next to it. And if you remember book 74, this is the episode 6 in season 1. Katri was telling that in the whole town there's a lot of books by Judy Blume, by Robert Ludlum, but there is not even one Holy Bible. There's not the most, you know, the most famous book in the world. So now that we have a character with the Bible, it's probably going to be important, because she has a certain role. There are NPC characters that there are just to die, like Dale, and there are important characters just like Ethan or Jade and Tabitha, who have a very important part in this story. So she is also having a very important part. I am more than confident about this, and since we're talking here about the beginning of an end, and you know, Man in Yellow goes all in here, and it's probably going to be very horrific, it's probably not a very good part. Also notice that she has like some kind of a blades, metallic blades in her neck. and we will see those injuries later, and somebody's trying to help her. Now what's weird for me, it looks like there's a lot of sunlight on the glass, and we have seen that the car is smashing into the post office, so there wouldn't be any sunlight directly on the glass there unless I'm mistaken here somehow, or it's just once again some kind of a lighting issue or something like this. So she's supposed to be in a car, but the way it looks like behind her, it doesn't look like a car. So we can see the seat here, but what is here? Like, this is the roof. Very weird shot for me. I need more information here. Whose hand is that? It's kind of dark skinned, a little bit dark skinned, not exactly black, but dark skinned, so maybe Fatima trying to help somebody here. It looks a little bit like female hand, so that's the only thing that comes to mind. It's kind of skinny, long fingers, so the only thing that comes to mind is Fatima, but it can be anybody else. Here we can see that she has the same scars as I told you. This is a moment from the teaser, and this moment with the ambulance in the trailer, it's shown to us that they are connected somehow. Like the moment with the car crash in the post office and the ambulance, it feels like they're connected somehow. Also because in this moment we can see that Kenny and Boyd and Marielle, you can see the hair, you know, the blonde braid here, they are actually throwing the spikes on the road. Now if you can see the location of the colony house, they are a little bit on the right side of the colony house. So if you remember this moment from season 1, this is Boyd walking from the pool, and the colony house in perspective to Boyd is a little bit to the right of Boyd, and here the colony house is a little bit on the left to them, so they are even further. So probably if you look at the map, they are somewhere here, probably somewhere here on the entrance. They're throwing it, we don't see any houses. So what is weird for me in this moment is that if the spikes worked and the priest entered on the high speed, I don't know, he was probably very scared, he was trying to get away, and the spikes made, you know, him lose control of the car and car crash, how would you explain that the car is actually coming from the other side, not where the spikes are, but from the side of the church? So it's a little bit weird for me. I don't know if actually the spikes caused the car crash or maybe something else. I don't think he was able to, you know, go through on the spikes and then without wheels go for another full circle and then come back on the other side of the road somehow. So yes, something here doesn't work out for me, but yeah, we can definitely see that when the ambulance drives, we can see some spikes here on the road. So they're stopping here when a Boyd is smashing Acosta here, which is deservedly so. I don't know what is the cost. I don't know here the context, but I'm pretty sure that Boyd is right. And we can see that spikes here are there here, even though it kind of doesn't look like the spikes are there, just, you know, the stripe that they are on, or just some kind of a black spots. Anyway, Boyd is a little bit losing himself. He will tell you a little bit later that he doesn't like who he is becoming, and when Christy and Marielle arrives, Christy is a bit angry and Marielle is a bit worried, because I think they are stopping Boyd from, I don't know, doing some serious injury on Acosta. But the conflict between Boyd and Acosta was teased to us in season 3. Obviously it's gonna blow up in season 4. Acosta is not there to play second role. She wants to take control. She wants to be the new sheriff, so she's probably not gonna be a very good character, because we all love Boyd and Boyd cannot be bad. Okay, this is the rule. I don't make the rules. Actually, I do make the rules. This is my YouTube channel, so in this channel Boyd is the guy and we all love Boyd. And here Acosta is saying to him, you are a monster, and I think this is somewhere in the beginning of the season like episode 1 or 2, maybe even the same night when Jim was just killed by the man in yellow, and this is after Elgin was tortured and she's saying to him, you're a monster. But this is made for us to believe that Boyd is turning into a monster. He's not. Anyway, moving forward. So we also can see that, you know, Kenny and Sophia, this new girl, they're probably gonna hit it off. I have no idea what this stupid girl is doing during the night, because she was in the car crash during the day. It was enough time for her to be healed by this place and by the magic of Christy, and then being explained that you don't go during the night. But you know, as I told you, she can be very dogmatic. She can be, you know, oh my god, those are all children of God and we walk under the God and I need to talk to them and tell them the psalm whatever and it will save them and heal them, or some stupid shit like this, and they will go away. No disrespect to religious people, but if you're in this place, you should probably listen to people who live there. Anyway, they definitely gonna hit it off. off. She's gonna like read a prayer with him, so he's holding hands. And I know, like, Kenny, you've been pretty bummed after Christy, and in this place, being a young guy, you kind of need somebody, somebody. But what about Acosta? You were kind of hitting it off in season 3. Why would you switch to this one? And if she's going during the night, after she's been explained to not do this, she's probably not the smartest one. So anyway, moving forward, even here in the funeral, 2 people are being buried. Once again, it's summertime. Everybody is being dressed lightly. Look at it. Some people have a little bit of a top on top of them, but most of them are wearing t-shirts or just shorts. It's not cold anymore. So it's been a couple of days. So 2 people died. My bet is obviously this is Jim and Priest, and everybody is here. Boyd, Donna, Kenny, Sophia, Bacta, what's her name, Clara, Marielle, Christy. You can see everybody here. Randall. The only person who's not there is actually Elgin, and we are seeing him in the same room where he was tortured by Sarah. And he's saying to Boyd, the truth eventually will come out. Now, it's 2 ways here we can interpret this. First of all, he is basically trying to intimidate Boyd, to say, you're the bad guys, you basically tortured me, you took my eye out, and all I wanted to do is basically help everybody, I'm such a good guy. Or he is like, trying to feel some shame, and maybe he found some conscience, and he's like, people will understand and will learn that I was the one to kidnap Fatima. And Boyd is saying, no way in hell, I will do whatever I can to make sure this truth doesn't come out. So my bet, once again, that during most of the season, or at least half of it, Elgin will be locked in the colony house, he will be under guard, and they will try to keep it a secret as long as possible that he is there. So most of the scenes that Elgin will have will probably be in the same room. Now, moving forward, the crows or the ravens are actually attending the funeral. Everybody is freaked out. Oh my god, crows, ravens, oh my god. Once again, look at the clothes. Everybody's wearing new clothes. Julie wearing new clothes, Tabitha wearing new clothes. It's still kind of cold-ish, but it's definitely not winter time anymore, so everybody's freaked out about crows and ravens. And as I told you, Randall and Henry and Victor, everybody is there. So what the crows are doing there? They are not attacking anybody. They even, look, one of them is sitting pretty calmly next to Boyd, and they're trying to get their attention somehow. And it kind of made me think, are we actually sure that the crows or the ravens are on the side of the bad guys? Let's try to analyze them. Let's try to analyze this. First of all, yeah, when they arrive, when we see the crows, it means you're fucked. Okay, there's a tree, just like here, and there is the same moment, you see the tree, and you always see the crows. And it's been 2 crows when Acosta got into town, and been 2 crows when Tabitha and Julie got into town. When Boyd, I think it was a little more, but there's always crows. And we also have Elgin's t-shirt here with the yellow background, and as you know, the drawings of Miranda, they put the crows with yellow background and the monsters with yellow background, so it kind of connects them together. Okay, there's also this moment when the crow burst into the window when, Tilly was trying to do some tarot card reading. And the next day, Bacta, she was saying that this crow, the dead crow, actually has some kind of a bad juju, whatever it is. So all of those moments kind of say, crows are probably not there to serve the good guys, to help the good guys. The dogs are there to help the boy in white, the crows are there probably to help the man in yellow. But then again, like, self-sacrifice, even to stop from something happening or our characters to learn something, is not something that I usually see with bad characters. Okay, so also this moment was drawn by Victor. By the way, I'm preparing a video about this, about Victor's drawing. I think this is something that we also need to keep in mind before season 4. Now, my biggest concern about crows, them being on the side of the bad ones, is this moment in season 2. They are being eaten by rats in the caves. So it kind of shows you that the caves where our monsters lives is not a friendly place to cross. So supposedly they are not on the same side here. Okay, so it means maybe once again, as I told you, Scarecrow, what they're supposed to do? They're supposed to scare the crows away, scare the ravens away. And we have seen that the Scarecrows are also pretty much not on the side of the good guys. They're about to kick the living shit of our heroes. Something here is not working for me exactly. I'm not 100% convinced that the ravens are on the good side and they're definitely there to warn people and help them. But I'm also not 100% convinced that they are definitely on the bad side, that they are definitely helping the bad guys. So far I'm 50-50, and I would love to know what you think about this. Now, since we're talking about the rats, let's come back to this guy, and he has a small little body in his mouth. And this is the moment that we've all been waiting for. We're gonna discuss Jade and his walk to the cave, because I think this is the moment when he is actually going to the caves to see what Boyd has seen in the end of season 3. We can see this moment. This is here. This is the sacrificial place, and this is not a vision anymore. In season 2, when he got into this place and he has seen the roots on the ceiling, and he has seen the Ankui children screaming, Ankui, 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 please remember us, it was a vision. 5 seconds later, there were no stones, no rocks there in the room. Here, this is not a vision. Monsters here are arriving. This is the place where the kids actually being killed. This is where it all started, according to the words of the boy in white. So it's a crucial and important place. And looks like there is something here underground, and it's being covered by a very big stone-ish plate. Now, once again, the quality of this image is pretty shit, and it can be just, just some kind of I wouldn't say drawings, but just a stone with its markings on it, that's it. Or there can be actually some kind of runes, just like on our talisman. So once again, I'm sorry I cannot tell you this confidently. Hopefully when the season will be released, hopefully in 4K, it will be way easier to diagnose this and to analyze this, but so far it doesn't look like a good day for Jade. So we know that he went to the cave with some kind of a light that is definitely not from the room where Fatima was giving birth. There is no light like this in this room. And he's seen some boy. Now for me, I am not confident, but I do have a feeling that this is Jade when he was young. In the end of season 1, Jade is talking to Tian Chen, and he's saying to her that his grandma died when he was 13 or something like this, or 14, I don't remember exactly, but he was a small teenager, this kind of age, and he had to move from France to United States. And then some lady in the airport came to him and she said to him like, they come with us even when they're gone. So this was just a motivational speech, and it kind of stayed with me. It always felt like there is something more to this moment. And in season 3, Julie starts to time travel in Storywalking, and it once again it connected to me. It's like, I need to come back to this moment. I need to know who was this lady that came to Jade and told him that they come with us even when they're gone, because it kind of feels like this random lady is very not random, and we are supposed to know her. Maybe it's an older version of Julie, maybe it's Tian Chen somehow, I have no idea. But the whole time travel possibility opens a lot of doors. For me, I think this is Jade seeing himself. Anyway, moving forward, he's being somehow attacked by the monsters, but they're definitely not gonna kill them unless people are just gonna tune off. They're not gonna watch. Jade is most people's favorite, so I don't think they have the balls to kill him in season 4. Hopefully not, maybe in the end of season 5, which probably gonna be the last one. So he's being dragged somewhere, and in this moment we can see that he's being thrown somewhere, and this will be explain who are those little hands. Those little hands of a skeleton. This is probably a child. So once again, what is being covered here? I think they grab Jade, they open up this stone plate, and they throw him down there. And what's down there? Bodies of Ankui children. They're skeletons, or maybe a body of, just the little girl that we haven't seen on the poster. But most likely it's all of them, all 7 of them, and Jade will discover where they are buried. So whatever this is, somehow it will be used to break the curse. Because once again, for 1 millionth time, to remind you, it all started with Ankui children, according to the boy in white. And in order to escape this place, you need to do something with the story and with those Ankui children. So learning when they are buried is probably going to be a very important and crucial moment in the story. Moving on. This moment, I cannot put it chronologically anywhere, like I have no idea when it's gonna happen, but as we can see, once again, it's summertime, it's pretty hot, Boyd is taking off his jacket and he's saying that he's turning into something that he doesn't like. Okay, and everybody and their mother is like, yeah, he's turning into a monster, and as you can see, he remembers killing Abby. This is scenes from season 1, obviously, him killing Abby, and this is a dream that he was having, probably in this moment, waking up. So Boyd is being tortured, both physically and psychologically, and we've seen him waking up. He didn't see the scarecrow, he probably seen himself killing Abby again. Now, before I move on to Boyd becoming a monster, I actually want to talk about this moment a little bit, because on the surface, doesn't give us anything. It looks like Boyd is coming back to the same room where Fatima gave birth to Smiley. We can see, you know, two lamps here on the side, one next to the entrance to the secret door and one which looks like to the entrance to the whole cellar. So it kind of makes sense. But what kind of bothers me here, you know, he's covering here this place, so I don't see if there are candles here, but there is a lamp here on the roof, on the ceiling, sorry, and it's being connected to some kind of a rope, small tiny rope, and it's not something that was there in the end of season 3. So I have here 3 explanations. The first one is actually it's a fuck up by the, you know, by the production team, but they usually don't do fuck ups. Sometimes yes, everybody sometimes do fuck ups, so whatever it is, so they were just, you know, like didn't notice that there was an alarm, they put the alarm. The second reasoning is that our characters were like, okay, this place looks important, we should definitely check it more often, and we need a lamp here, let's make it brighter here because it's kind of dark. And the third one, it's different room, even though it looks like it, but it's a different one. So let me know in the comments which one do you like more. Anyway, moving forward to Boyd in front of the mirror, the same mirror that Jasmine was using in season 1 after she killed Virgin Mario. And everybody's like, yeah, he's becoming a monster. Look, he's not becoming a monster because in order to become a monster, you need to sacrifice your child or any child or some child or whatever child. And Boyd is definitely not gonna do this, but there is somebody who we know already is a supernatural presence here, some kind of a supernatural force, and somebody else needs to take their place at some point. It can be either Martin, or it can be maybe the man in yellow, which is most likely, since Boyd is our, you know, GOAT, he's the MVP, he's the most important character of this town, and the man in yellow looks like he is the big bad guy, so he is the antagonist. So he needs a replacement. If somebody needs to take his place, Boyd is the logical sense, and they were trying to break his moral code, his moral compass during all of the season 3, and he was starting to torture Elgin, sorry, and he was just in the end eventually was saved by Sarah from this, but he's still going on a very dark path here. So also here in this moment he's like talking to Abby, this is definitely her grave, and he's being attacked by her from the grave. She's like, oh, blah, 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 I'm gonna attack you, I'm a zombie. We have talked about this in the teaser. I don't have anything else to add here until I have seen the ring here on her finger, and I thought maybe the one ring that we're seeing farther down the line is actually the ring he was given by, you know, Abby's zombie, but it's probably not, because we can see on her finger it's a very skinny ring, it's a tiny one, and the ring that they are actually analyzing and trying to see what it's about is way bigger. So let's talk about this ring. Okay, we can see here that this is definitely Colony House and it's falling from something, or either somebody just, it fell from a hand, or maybe since they will discover the man in yellow's jacket and maybe in an inside pocket there was a ring, somebody, you know, just did something like this with the jacket and the ring fell off. So this is definitely Colony House, and we have seen Boyd looking at the ring, but it also doesn't feel like everybody will see this ring, because later we can see that Boyd already in the post office analyzing this ring. So my theory, and a lot of people's theory, is that this is the ring that belongs to Man in Yellow. So let's talk about him transferring to something or somebody. I was hoping for a spider. I'm still waiting for a spider from season 1 of when we saw a lot of webs in the forest. I saw Victor's drawing of a big spider, and he drew even the caves of the monsters as a spider web. I need a freaking spider, and there is still no spider. Where is the fucking spider? Anyway, moving on, we have like the man in yellow turning into something. He left his jacket here on one of the ruins. Once again, may I remind you, in this place we have the lighthouse, we have the cellar, we have the cellar in the Colony House, we have the church, we have those old buildings that are connected somehow. Probably all of them have a connection to the caves. So this one, I don't know how, but probably also somehow connected to it. Now there's also the suitcase, and the only famous suitcase we have in this TV show is the one that we have seen in the beginning of season 2 when Tabitha was walking through the caves with Victor. I'm not 100% confident that this is the same suitcase. First of all, I don't see the same patches because it kind of different angles of this suitcase. And the other thing is that why would the man in yellow need some kind of a white gun, whatever it is, like night clothes? I don't know, but he's definitely turning into something. And here, once again, he looks kind of spidery. Look at his hands. But he's turning into somebody with the long and blonde hair. Or it looks like it. Sometimes in the CGI department they make something being first bright and then turns darker, so it's a possibility that he is turning into Jim. But let's, for the sake of it, meanwhile, let's focus on the blonde hair and think that he's turning into some blonde woman. And this is why he needs, you know, a woman's dress that is being held in the suitcase. Who can it be? Who blonde do we have? It's either a new character, or it's Donna, or it's Sofia, or it's who else? Acosta, not really that blonde. The only two blonde women we have is the Sofia, the new girl, and Donna. So maybe Sofia will actually not survive whatever will happen to her, and the man in yellow will take her place, and we will have like a mall inside of the town, basically, you know, the man in yellow in the shape of Sofia helping everybody, telling them about the scripture or Psalm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever this is, but actually leading them, riling them up for, you know, for the last massacre. I think it kind of makes sense to me. Anyway, moving forward, after that, Jade, Ethan and Victor will discover the clothes in this place, and Victor, as you know, Victor, he will remember something, and as Victor does, he will go to dig something. You know, Victor, he walks through the town, he eats some peaches, he shows people his gun, and he digs things. And he will dig this drawing of the man in yellow, and we can see that the man in yellow arrives in a white car. We can definitely see a church here. Okay, so this is one side of the town, you know, one entrance, and this is actually not the entrance where people usually appear. They usually appear from the side of the barn, just like Ellis, just like Ethan and Matthew's family, just like everybody else. They usually appear from the side of the barn. But this one probably appeared from the side of the church, which is already weird. And he's smiling, so everybody thinks that he is the good guy. So he was probably, you know, very happy first. And then something happened to him. Two things. Maybe you're right, and really something happened to him, or he was, you know, being killed, and this evil dark thing took his shape and became the man in yellow, the new man in yellow. Or maybe, you know, if you're gonna remember Victor's drawings and Eloy's drawings, who is smiling? Usually the monsters, and the people that are inside the car, they're pretty much sad. Here we have, for example, Christopher shooting people and also smiling. So smile doesn't necessarily makes you a good person and a good character. But whatever this is, whatever Henry have seen here on this drawing or on the drawings behind this drawing, it made him lose his mind. He's screaming. There is a big revelation here, and count me in. I really want to know which one is it. So here, this moment, we can see this is definitely after the car crash already. We can see here already some kind of like a wood here. It's been covered. They trying to recreate the wall somehow, so this place will still be functional during the night. And Boyd is saying that don't matter how much time we're here, how many people we lose, we still don't know the freaking rules. The reason you don't know the freaking rules is you don't talk to each other. Tell people what you have seen. If you've been stuck in a freaking cave with a dude named Martin who gave you worms, how about tell that to people? Maybe somebody will have an idea. Maybe somebody will be named Jade. Okay, new plan. Tell Jade everything and let him figure it out. That's a new plan. Like, remember the end of Space Jam when there's like a big intricate plan and then Michael Jordan is like, how about you pass me the ball and I will score? This is what you should do. Everybody pass the ball to Jade and let him score. So yes, here we see the moment, and we can see that the yellow jacket of the man in yellow is on the desk. Tabitha is wearing new clothes. Alice is wearing new clothes. Even Jade is already not wearing his coat on top of his t-shirt. Everybody's wearing summer clothes. So it's probably episode 5, 6, somewhere later down the road. There is this conversation between Boyd and Donna, and they telling him, we really want to know what happened down there. And this is once again coming back to pretty fucking talk to each other, please. Pretty please. Like, you're being complaining that we don't know the rules. How about you tell them that you have seen Smiling come back to life? You don't want to create panic, of course, obviously don't want to create panic, but you're also creating disinformation here for people and other morons like Dale going into the bottle tree and then killing themselves. Talk to each other, please. Anyway, Boyd will probably spend a lot of time at the colony house. We see him here once again giving him one of his motivational speeches to Donna. This is Alice's room, and he is giving hugs to his son, so probably it's gonna be sad, and probably maybe during one of those interactions, this is where they're gonna find the ring. Now, let's get back to the ring. Inside of it, there is an infinity symbol. And, okay, it makes sense. There is a bride monster. There is the man in yellow. And we know that he used to be, you know, young and handsome from Miranda's drawing. So maybe he was supposed to marry some girl and something sad romantic happened. Romance, blah, 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 Romeo and Juliet, whatever. For us, what is interesting, that infinity symbol is being shown to us since season 1. We have seen him being drawn by Jade here in his notepad in the beginning almost of season 1. Then we have seen them on the walls. You can see that it's right here, the infinity symbol. We also seen it on Victor's map in the trailer, in the semi-trailer. You can see 1, 2, 3. So this infinity symbol repeats itself more and more and more, and it's pretty important, and it somehow explains why the story repeats itself in this place. So yeah, moving on, we're finishing with the trailer. We have Ethan riding here towards Jim. Stop killing good characters. You know what? Jim was annoying at moments, but he was a good father, and you know, killing a boy's father is too much. It's too much. Just keep torturing Kenny. He can take it already. He has a lot of, you know, he's been working out for this, but torturing this kid, like the kid who plays Ethan does such a good job. I mean, such a great job. Like when you look at his face, when he sees his father, it breaks my heart. He has so much emotion in this moment. I mean, like, dude, you're like, what, 13 years old, 12 years old, and you're already acting better than half of Hollywood? Kudos to you. Hopefully there is a big bright future for you in this industry. Now, this is definitely not Jim. They even kind of make his face smoother than it is. I mean, he's easy on the eyes as he is, but now he's freaking handsome here. So it kind of makes you think that, you know, this is definitely not Jim. Now, it's either Man in Yellow took his shape, or it's one of those Katri bartender Tom situations, like, you know, Boyd seeing Katri and Jade seeing bartender Tom, and Ethan is seeing, you know, Jim, a very important figure to him. Now, also we have here a poltergeist, and this is actually where I think this is actually Jim. We see in here a book, and it's been written How the Light Gets In. There's a book like that. It was written in 2014. It has 500 pages, which is obviously it's not the book. So probably just something that they made in production. And here we can see that our characters pretty much don't give a shit already. They're like, okay, there is flying notepads, there is some kind of a food on the floor, and there is, you know, like boards opening, closing. Yeah, anyway, wherever, poltergeist. Now, once again, it's just a feeling, just a vibe, but I think this is Jim trying to make them realize and understand that he's still there. You remember what Jade was saying in the end of season 3. The first rule of thermodynamics: nothing really disappears, energy stays. Maybe in this place, energy doesn't move to heaven and hell. Maybe it somehow stays and circling in this place. And Jim, being Jim, he will probably do whatever he can to protect his family, because you can say whatever you want about Jim, but you cannot say that his first goal and his first priority was not protecting his family. So also, story walking I kept to the end, so we have here Julie and Randall, probably the beginning of the season. They're still wearing their warm clothes, and they're in the place where she will be relocated to Martin's chamber. Apparently, you know, Randall is there to support her, and she goes in. It's either a different scene because she's alone here, or Randall is just here and we don't see him behind the walls, and she goes, and maybe it starts the same. Maybe she's seeing Marielle and Randall and herself being tortured, or maybe right away she's being transferred suddenly into the woods, not into the Martin's chamber. And here she sees a scene where Boyd was shooting the monsters with silver bullets. You remember when he put the bullets in a vial and he tried to kill the monsters, and something was actually pushing the house on wheels from under the ground, which was pretty scary. But for me, once again, it's bothering me, because if you remember this moment, you will have the same face. Rewatch season 2, rewatch this episode. This is the moment from the episode. It's so easy to recreate this moment. You have the tough guy, and right next to him, on the right side of him, we have the cheerleader, just like it was in season 2. But there was no lunch lady there. In season 2, she was not there. She's not present. I don't know what is the purpose of it. Why not to recreate it exactly? Is it once again just a mishap, just something they were like, okay, let's give this actress a little bit more screen time because she's very photogenic and she is, you know, very, you know, loyal, because some monsters are changing, not all of them are available, but let's, you know, just give her more screen time? Or is it something different? Or maybe when Julie sees, you know, the same story that happened, she's not seeing exactly 100% the same story. What do you think about this? Once again, I don't have any certain answers, just theories, just, you know, product of my imagination, so I don't want to bother you with this too much. So we have Sarah here screaming. This is the only shot with Sarah we have in the trailer. This is Sophia running towards her. This is their house. We can see the stairs here. So, you know, Sophia will probably live in the hospital at some point, and then she will move in to live with Sarah. I don't know, I think Sophia is not good news. I don't think she's gonna be a good character. I think she's there to cause trouble. And yeah, poor Kenny, poor Kenny. So also this bottle tree, important, interesting. Why? Because supposedly season 3 ended the bottle tree storyline. We know already what those numbers mean. This is a melody and you play it, and then Ankui children go out of the forest and they tell you, Ankui, remember me please. And then you remember actually. So why would Henry go to the bottle tree? Why would the creators and the screenwriters would put a scene with the bottle tree? It means there is still something about the bottle tree that we need to know. And I'm pretty happy about it, because I'm not very satisfied with all the melody, play the melody. It's not, no, do better. Anyway, moving forward, this scene, it looks like Julie. I'm not convinced. I have no idea. Whatever you think, you're probably right. This moment also cannot put it on chronologically anywhere. This is Marielle basically saying there is something ancient here and it tortures us and it feeds on our pain and it's not gonna stop. It doesn't feed only on your pain, it feeds on your hope. We've talked about this. I have a full video about it. You should definitely check it out. Also, we have the music box and we have the same songs as usual, all of them from the 70s. I will put all of the Wikipedia titles for every song in the summary. I don't want to bother you with this too much. It's not the place in this video to talk about songs right now. So that's it basically. This is all I've been able to dig on this trailer. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure there is still some things that I missed. And until April 19th, I'm planning to make a lot of videos. Yesterday or the day before, I don't know when I'm going to release this one, I released a video about the suitcase actually, and about the connection to Timothy Leary and LSD and everything around it, New York. So I'm planning to make a lot of videos, so when episode 1 of season 4 drops, you will be as prepared as possible. You will know all the details, you will know what to focus on. So those videos obviously are for hardcore geeks, for Fromville. It's not for the random viewer. Random viewer is gonna be bored of those videos. He will not understand, or she will not understand what the fuck am I talking about. So those are for hardcore fans. So if you're not subscribed yet, hit that button, hit that bell, whatever it is, whatever usually YouTubers say. And I want to thank everybody who supports me on Patreon and on YouTube. Your donations and your financial support is what makes this channel possible. If you want to support me, you know where to find the links. And of course, I'm gonna see you on the next one. Meanwhile, bye.